Welcome back to another video, guys. It's Blaze2k, and I just wanted to ask, did you know that PlayStation are making a loss on every single PS5 that they sell? Well, they are, and we're going to get into it, but first, please smash the thumbs up underneath this video, consider subscribing and hitting that bell icon for notifications and new videos and news, stuff like that. So anyways, let's get into it. Let's get into the meat and potatoes of the video. So Sony disclosed the state of the PS5 in a recent quarterly report to investors this month, and one of the disclosures was that they're actually making a loss on every single PS5 that they make and that they sell due to its strategic price targets set to compete with the Xbox. But thankfully, PlayStation revenue from game sales, both PS4 and PS5, and add-on content, DLC, stuff like that, as well as their services like PlayStation Now and PS Plus, more than make up for any of the shortfall from selling the PS5 at a loss. And it surprises me that they're making a loss on so many PS5s, because they've already shipped 4.5 million PS5s worldwide between November 12th and December 31st, which is crazy. It doesn't feel like that because there's still a bunch of people that haven't got their PS5s yet. I mean, hell, you might not even have your PS5 yet if you're watching this video. But yeah, they even went as far as to point out that the PlayStation 5 is facing unprecedented demand, making its availability scarce. They're also having trouble sourcing all the components for the PS5, and that's part of the reason why they're making a loss, because of how sparse these components are, like the AMD chip shortage and everything like that. They're finding it really hard to find components, and the people that make these components, like AMD and everyone that makes all these little, chips and stuff that goes on the PS5 motherboard, they're cranking up the price and trying to make some money on this shortage that's happening, basically. But the way things are looking is that they're probably going to break even on every single disc PS5 that they make and lose about $50 on every digital. So they're breaking even on the $500 PS5, and they're losing about $50 on the digital, which they're selling for $399, because apparently the digital costs about $450 to $460 to make at the factory. So yeah, they're losing about $50 to $60 on every PS5 that they sell, or every digital that they sell. And that makes me wonder, is that maybe why the digital seems to be more hard to buy? It could be, and that's even though the digital doesn't have an optical disc drive, the 4K Blu-ray drive. So yeah, it's really fascinating. It's crazy. But the reason I think they have to sell the console this low is because they need to compete with the Xbox. If the Xbox didn't exist, they could sell this thing for $600, $650, $700 if they wanted to. But because Xbox is pricing theirs at $499, and let's be honest, the Xbox is the more powerful console. It's got a bigger SSD. It's got a few things going for it that the PS5 doesn't. The PlayStation 5 needs to compete with the Xbox, because we all know what happened back in the PS3, Xbox 360 era, right? The Xbox 360 came out swinging. It was cheaper than the PS3, it was more powerful than the PS3, and that was enough to make people go out and buy an Xbox 360. And as a result, the Xbox 360 ended up basically taking an early lead in the so-called console wars back then, and they don't want that to happen again this time around. So they are having to take a loss and just swallow it on every console, assuming that, and with the assumption that they're going to make that money back selling digital games, digital services and stuff like that. But anyways, guys, this takes me back to my point. This is exactly why this whole console wars thing is a bad idea, because if Xbox, a lot of people are saying, I hope Xbox dies, I hope Xbox closes down, I hate Xbox, I wish they didn't exist. If they didn't exist, guys, Sony would get away Sony would be the only console in town. They would get away with selling it for $450, selling it for $550, $600, $650 if they wanted to, because who could stop them? There would be no one else to compete with. They could sell it for what they wanted to sell it, and plus they wouldn't have to put as much effort into making it as powerful as they wanted it to be, to compete with the Xbox. If the Xbox didn't exist, life would be more boring, and we all already know that's what happens with monopolies, right? When there's only one business serving something in a town or something, they don't try as hard to make things as great as they could be. And that's probably what would happen if Xbox did end up shutting down. Now here's an article from VentureBeat. Sony selling PlayStation 5 hardware at a loss. The PlayStation 5 is off to a fast start for Sony Interactive Entertainment. The company reported its first quarterly financial results since launching the PS5 in November, and as expected, the company sold a lot of hardware and is making a lot of money when it comes to gaming. Sony doesn't have much holding back its profitability. Software sales are up, network services are generating more revenue, but one of the pain points Sony did mention is the price of its newest gaming console, the PS5 hardware, is selling at a loss. The loss resulting from the strategic price points for the PS5 hardware that were set lower than the manufacturing costs. It says it again, PS5's hardware is selling at a loss. The PS5 is 500, digital edition is 400, and while that is a lot of money, it's not enough to cover what it costs to produce the system. Now, the PS5 digital edition does drag down the average sales price of the PS5 overall, so that strategic price point is probably somewhere between $460 and $490, so the PS5 costs more than that to produce. And it's not surprising that Sony's taking a loss on hardware. Microsoft confirmed it's doing the same thing with the Xbox Series X, and in February 2020, Bloomberg reported that the PS5 has a unit cost of $450, but it's likely that was the cost of goods and not a figure that represents the full cost incurred for manufacturing, packaging, and delivering the console through the retail chain. So chances are they could be losing more than $50 for every console that they sell, which would be absolutely wild. Now, Sony claims that it used cheap and eco-friendly packaging material for the PS5 because of the environment, and I can attest to that because when I unboxed the PS5, you could just tell the box isn't as high quality as the Xbox 360's one, the Xbox Series X's one, I should say. You could tell they cut a few corners when it came to the packaging. You know, there was no fancy foam or anything. It was basically like an egg carton shell, egg carton with a PS5 wrapped in a little plastic covering, foamy covering. They did skimp out on the packaging, but who cares when you've got the PS5 and the DualSense controller, man. But yeah, this is likely an example of corporate greenwashing. The flimsy PS5 box likely also saved the company a significant amount of money. The PS5 may continue selling at a loss whilst component costs remain high. Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo won't get any relief on manufacturing costs anytime soon. Some of the most expensive components in the PS5 may actually go up in price. Taiwan Semiconductor Manufacturing Co. TSMC is experiencing huge demand at its fabrication facilities that produce the system on a chip for the PS5. TSMC also makes the chips for the Series X, Series S, Nintendo Switch, iPhone, M1 Mac, AMD CPUs and GPUs. Thirst for the processors is at such a high that TSMC is reportedly suspending volume pricing for its partners. Now, Sony has likely millions of PS5 SoCs already paid for, ready to go, but it also wants to meet consumer demand, which we know is super high already. Consumer demand is probably beyond expectations. So they're going to need a lot more chips in the long run. It's not going to sit on any components for long. Once it burns through its current stock, Sony will have to go back to TSMC and pay the higher price for the PS5 processors. Which, how are they going to manage that? Are they going to start charging us more money for the PS5? How is that going to work? So that's probably a big reason why there's been so many shortages lately, because Sony's sitting there unwilling to pay even more money and make even more of a loss on every single PS5. Memory prices are also going up, so Sony have had to start paying more for the PS5's GDDR6. Again, this is not a cheap component, and fluctuations in pricing of RAM can cut deep into margins. Of course, Sony understands as well as any company that all of this is the cost of doing business. Arguably, treating hardware as a loss leader is less detrimental to Sony's bottom line than ever before. The company spent the PS4 generation establishing a strong digital sales business with services like PS Plus, as well as selling microtransactions for games like Fortnite. These service-based revenue streams have enabled Sony to avoid the dip in sales that was traditional during a transition from one hardware generation to the next. Instead, the company is maintaining most of its momentum, and it's likely okay with losing money on PS5 if it means consumers are excited to buy games and subscribe to services. Really good article from VentureBeat. Really good article. So yeah, PS5 is losing money on every sale, and I'm wondering if this has anything to do with all the shortages that we've had lately. The PS5 went from we went from getting drops all the way up to Christmas, almost every day, multiple times a day, to getting absolutely nothing for like 2 weeks after New Year. Even a bit before New Year it was a bit dry, and then all of a sudden we started getting an influx of PS5s at the end of January, and then it started slowing down again, and we're in that period now where we've just had a bunch of drops. We had a Walmart drop yesterday which was massive. A lot of people managed to get one, but we've just went from having a bunch of drops to having no drops again. So I don't know how long this is gonna take. I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to become more readily available. I guess time will tell. I'm gonna make another video talking about when I think the PS5 will be easier to buy in the stores. So make sure to subscribe, make sure to hit the bell icon for that. And let me know in the comments, because it's such an interesting topic, and everyone and their dog has an opinion on it, and I'd love to read your opinion. I read every single comment that I get. I'm not joking, guys, so leave a comment down below and I'll read it. Thank you for watching this video, and like I said, if you haven't got a PS5 yet, go check out our 24-hour PS5 stock tracking stream, link in the description. We've been running it all the way since November, mid-November, so we're already into like mid-February now. So can you just 3 months we've been doing this, and it's crazy, man, and I love it. We've built the most amazing community, I could ever ask for. So thank you for being here, guys. Thank you for watching this video. Hopefully I never went on for too long. Well, 13 minutes is a little bit long, but hopefully you stuck through it. Thank you for being here. I love you. Please smash the like button underneath this video, hit that subscribe, hit that bell icon, enable every single notification, and if you want to become a member by clicking the join button down below, it would really help us out. You get a green name in our live chat, you get a badge next to your name which changes color for every month that you become a member or stay a member, and you get access to maybe members only streams, members only chat. When the chat gets a little bit rowdy and we turn on members only mode, you get to be one of the few people chatting in the chat room, and hopefully more perks. But like I said, if you want to become a member, link in the description, or click that join button next to the subscribe button. Anyways, guys, I love you. See you in the next video. Have a great day, have a great week, and I hope you and your family stay safe. Take care. I'll see you in the next one. Peace out. It's Blaze2K.